Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be here. My name is Nina Frazier, and I started a nonprofit organization, Nina Flowers, years ago when I lived in New York. I studied African American history and psychology the majority of my life. My mother was a Black Panther, and when she passed 3 years ago, she said to me, stop working for others and start focusing on your work for our community, because I've been fighting this fight for 60 some odd years. You've been fighting it for 30 some odd years, and I don't want my grandchildren fighting this fight when they become adults. So that's why I started this organization, Nina Flowers, which is all about alleviating institutional racism and empowering our people in underserved communities. I am honored to be in a room with all of you all, because I've followed all of your careers, especially you, Cornell, and you, Mike. I love you because my approach is like yours. I'm rough, rugged, and raw. I tell everybody I'm in Harriet Tubman mode right now. We've been nice about our fight for way too long as a people. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've been trying to get with Mike and T.I. because I like the way that they approach things and their truth. And Cornell, you did a poverty tour a couple of years ago with Tavis Smiley. My question is, how do we stop continuing in this cycle? Bernie, you've been in this fight for a very long time. So I want to know how we can all work together as a people, as Mike said, to burn down both houses, because it's wonderful, we talk about the houses, but the houses are not really for us, and we need to create our own agenda, as Mike said, I saw last week speaking, and we really don't need to create an agenda because the Black Panther Party created one for us, and it's a very powerful agenda, and it's still very relevant to this day. So I want to know, because I always promote our history. I think we fail because we don't know our true history as a people, and a lot of the leeway has been laid for us, and we just don't study it or follow through with it. How do we get our people across this nation, not just in this city, not just in one area, but we need to be on the same page across this nation? How do we get together as a people and force this nation to respect us and get an agenda where we can all work to empower and uplift one another?
Thank you. I think the agenda is to learn what Donald Trump is doing and do exactly the opposite. Trump may be crazy, but he's not stupid. He may be disgusting, but he is figuring out how he can win re-election. And what is his campaign about? It's dividing people up. You remember before he was president, he was the leader of the so-called birth amendment. Remember that? Which tried to delegitimize the presidency of Barack Obama, because supposedly he wasn't born in America. That's who he was. Well, he's moved on, and now he's attacking immigrants, or he's attacking Muslims, or Latinos, or whoever he's attacking. His goal is to divide us up. Our goal is to bring people together around an agenda that works for everybody. Okay? What is the agenda? We talked a little bit about childcare, whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian American, if you want and need good quality childcare. Mike talked about healthcare. I live 50 miles away from the Canadian border. If you have a heart transplant in Canada, how much do you pay? You spend a month in the hospital. Anybody here know?
Nothing.
You pay zero, because healthcare there is a human right. We got 500,000 people in this country who went bankrupt last year because of their medical bills. Go bankrupt because you have cancer, all right? Die because you don't get to a hospital. 30,000 people die. Healthcare is a human right. Education is a human right. Housing is a human right. Drinking water that is clean is a human right, all right? Not a radical suggestion. We're the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We are going to invest in ordinary people, not in the 1% who have so much economic and political power in this country. And I think we bring people together around that agenda. We attack racism in every conceivable way. Okay? And you raised an interesting one about federal contracts and what it means for the black community to get their fair share. But it's not just that. It is, Mike was mentioning that black mothers, can you believe this, die at 3 times the rate of white mothers. And by the way, white mothers are dying at a higher rate than they do in Europe. Right? Or that we have kids, African-American kids, graduating college more in debt at the end of 10 years than they were when they took out the loan in the first place. What do you think it will mean, which is what I'm trying to do here, to cancel all student debt in America? What will that mean for the African-American community? It'll be huge. Opening up the doors to public colleges, universities, and trade schools, so you can go out tuition-free. So what the campaign is about is thinking big of what you talked about, a vision. Where do we want to go? Well, you know, these ideas are not radical ideas. They exist all over the world. But here is the point. We're going to have to take on some very powerful people in Wall Street, in the insurance industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, military industrial complex. And with your help, I'm prepared to do that.
One thing, very briefly. Look, the one thing we do not learn from history is that, the one thing we learn from history is that we do not learn from history. You brought up the Black Panthers, right? This is the organizer in chief, right? We have to stay organized, right? The Black Panthers were an organization that organized around the country and continued that organizing beyond an election cycle. And so when we have a candidate who is talking about being the organizer in chief, he's not saying I can change the system, he's saying we can change the system. And so we as a people, poor people, black people, working class people in this country have to remain organized. And that was what destroyed our community. I'm from Chicago. Fred Hampton was eliminated because he was organized. So stay organized.